So Change Stories is a project that we started because we had this understanding that when urban change happens in cities, especially change that's beneficial for sustainability and equity, we don't always know the full story of how that change happened. Usually when we hear about these examples from other countries, we just get a really summary version.
I think that we are all natural storytellers. I think that it's not something we have to learn. I was born in England, but my father is from Trinidad and Tobago, and my mother is from India. The oral tradition is very important, and even more so because I think for many years it was denigrated by colonization. In India, for example, there was a very strong oral tradition, but the British said that these people have no history, have no science, have no medicine. But actually none of it was written down. It was passed through stories and through the oral tradition.
Cuando contamos historias, ¿quién queda por fuera? ¿Y cómo podemos pensar en historias de cambio urbano que son incluyentes? No solo que la cuentan las personas que han sido normalmente ignoradas, sino que también son historias de cambio que benefician a esas personas.
It was really about understanding the more disenfranchised stories, the more silent stories, and how can we find ways to amplify them. And I think the project is about that. It's about amplifying those voices.
So the Change Story event, it was always part of this collaborative project, since we have these different entities or groups and also case studies in Belfast, Belo Horizonte, and Bogotá.
Este es un escenario muy raro, no siempre se encuentran distintas ciudades, distintos académicos y sociedad civil en el mismo cuarto, y si no nos juntáramos eso no saldría.
Thinking of this, what we're doing as a process of constructing relationships, which also will last much longer than just this funding that we are receiving for what we are doing right now.
One of the things we find in the project is that there's a sense of humor, there's joy. Like even in the most difficult situations, people have really interesting and heartwarming stories of family, of events that they have, of their own experiences of life. And that is something really important to show about these places.
There might be conflicts, there might be contradictions, but that's exactly the exciting aspect of what we are doing, that we have this much more open, much more flexible structure, get a little bit more out of the academic way of doing things and being open to new forms of collaborating, and then maybe through that also changing academia.
We are very happy with the result of these 4 days in which we were immersed in this exchange of ideas, cultures, ways of thinking about problems between academics and practitioners and activists, in which we went and saw in field trips how the blocks of care are, and that generated a lot of ideas. And we saw Bogotá, and they came and with us in Transmilenio, and they saw the public transportation, so there were a lot of ideas.